Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is nothing. Not chasing, not explaining, not begging them to see your worth, just walking away. Because walking away speaks louder than any words you could ever say. And if you've ever been in a place where you loved someone so deeply that leaving felt impossible, this message is for you. Walking away is not about pride. It's not about playing games. It's about self. When you walk away, you're telling the world, I know my value. I will not settle for less. And here's what people don't understand. When you remove yourself from a situation where you're undervalued, you create space. Space for clarity. Space for better things to enter your life. People notice silence. They notice absence. And sometimes they notice it far more than they noticed your presence. Let me tell you about Emily. Emily loved with her whole heart. She gave her time, her energy, her loyalty to a man who couldn't decide if he wanted a future with her. One day, he would talk about marriage. The next, he would disappear for days. Emily believed that if she just loved harder, if she just proved her loyalty over and over again, he would finally stay. But all it did was make him take her for granted. One morning, she woke up to find that she hadn't heard from him in 3 days. Not a text, not a call, nothing. The Emily from before would have sent him a message. She would have asked, "Is everything okay?" She would have waited anxiously for his reply. But this time was different. This time, Emily walked away. No long message, no dramatic goodbye. She simply stopped showing up for someone who couldn't show up for her. 3 weeks later, he called. He was the one asking questions. He was the one suddenly realizing what she meant to him. But by then, Emily had realized something far more powerful. She didn't need him to feel whole. So why does walking away work? First, it shifts the dynamic. Not because you're trying to control the other person, but because you're showing that your happiness doesn't depend on them. Second, it brings clarity. Distance reveals truths that closeness hides. When you're too close to the fire, you can't see how much it's burning you. Walking away lets you feel the cool air again. Third, it demands respect. When someone sees that you have boundaries, that you will not stay where you are undervalued, their view of you changes even if they don't admit it. Let's be honest. Walking away is not easy. It can feel like tearing a part of your own heart. There will be moments when you want to go back, when you want to check their social media, when you replay old conversations in your head, trying to find where it went wrong. And in those moments, you'll think, maybe I overreacted, maybe I should reach out. But here's what you have to remember. You are not walking away from love. You are walking away from pain, from confusion, from disrespect, and most importantly, you are walking toward yourself. I want you to pause and picture this. You, months from now, waking up in the morning, smiling without checking your phone, because your peace is no longer in someone else's hands. You, walking into a room, confident in your worth, not because someone else validated you, but because you validated yourself. That version of you is already inside you. She's just waiting for you to choose her. Now let me tell you about Sarah. Sarah spent 2 years in a relationship where she always felt like she was almost enough. Her boyfriend was kind at times, but distant most days. He rarely made plans with her. He often said, "I'm just not ready for something serious." And every time she thought about leaving, he would pull her back with just enough affection to keep her hoping. One evening, after yet another canceled date, Sarah sat alone in her apartment, looking at the untouched dinner she had cooked. The smell of the food filled the room, but the emptiness in her chest was louder. And in that quiet, she realized something. She had been waiting for him to choose her, while she had never once chosen herself. The next morning, she didn't send a goodbye message. She didn't post a cryptic quote online. She simply stopped reaching out. Weeks later, he texted, "Hey, I've been thinking about you." But Sarah had already started thinking about herself, and that was the difference. Walking away works because it interrupts the cycle. When you're always available, when you always say yes, the other person has no reason to change. But when you step back, it creates space for them to reflect, or to reveal that they never intended to meet you halfway. Psychologists call this pattern interruption. It forces the other person to face the reality of losing you, and sometimes that's when they wake up. But here's the important part. Walking away is not a trick to make them chase you. It's a choice to put yourself first, no matter what they do next. Distance does something magical. It strips away the noise. It reveals what's real and what was only in your head. When you're in the middle of a situation, your emotions can cloud your judgment, but time and space, they bring clarity. You might realize that the person you were fighting so hard for never actually gave you the kind of love you deserve. Or you might see that they were good for you, but not in the way you imagined, and that letting go is still the best thing for both of you. Walking away isn't just about relationships. It's about anything that steals your peace. It might be a friendship that drains you, a job that crushes your spirit, a habit that keeps you stuck in the same place. When you learn the courage to walk away from what's wrong, you make space for what's right. It's not about losing, it's about choosing. Choosing peace over chaos. Choosing respect over attention. Choosing yourself over someone who wouldn't. If you remember only one thing from this entire message, let it be this: you were never too much. They were simply not enough. And that's okay, because not everyone is meant to walk the whole journey with you. Some people are lessons, some are blessings, and some are both. But you are a whole person, with or without them. And the moment you truly believe that is the moment you become unstoppable. So, if you've been wondering whether to walk away, let this be your sign. Not because it will make them chase you, not because it will teach them a lesson, but because it will set you free. And freedom, that's where real love begins.